Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Hi, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Sahish and I'm living in Singapore.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
That's it. Any hobbies, any likes, dislikes,
Mm,
subject that you like, you don't like?
my hobby is computer programming.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Mm, I like uh, I like I like playing games and coding them, and I don't like reading.
All right. Okay. All right. So, all right. Hi, Sarish. My name is Ashwarya. Okay. I'll be taking science for you. And I am I'm from Delhi and I've been teaching for the past 4.5 years. Right. And we'll do a small, quick demo of uh, one of the topics from the syllabus. So just tell me what's happening in school
Mm,
related to science. What chapter are you doing?
We're doing cells.
12. Okay, so you've gone in grade 6 recently? Like when
Yes.
did you join? So you're doing 12.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope you know the syllabus would be slightly different from what is in school, right?
Yes.
However, you will be provided with everything, all the content on the reading material. So when we come on this one-to-one classes, all I want you to do is uh, ask as many questions as you can, because there might be some topics which might not be taught in school or something that is new to you, obviously. And I want you to be as curious as possible, ask as many questions so that I understand how much you have understood and you also understand as to uh, what all needs to be like learned and what is the new concept, and you understand that properly. So we'll have to have a one-on-one communication, right? Okay, so out of physics, chemistry, bio, which would what do you like the best?
Mm, Biology.
Biology. Okay. So uh all right, so let's talk about, you want to pick a topic, you want me to pick any topic?
Fine with anything.
Fine. Great. So let's talk about body movement. Is that okay?
Yes.
Great. Let me just share my screen. 1 second. Just PPT opening. Okay, till the PPT opens, can you tell me how do you how do you move your body? Like how does movement, any kind of movement occur in your body?
Like neck rotations,
Yeah.
rotations.
So how
Mm,
do you do that? What is that? And why is it, for example, let's say I can rotate my neck completely, right? Like you just did.
Yeah.
But I can just rotate, or you can rotate my elbow completely. It can just go back and forth. Why does that happen?
Because of the way the bones are formatted.
Correct. Okay. Skeletal system. Okay. Mainly, our body is made up of bones, right? Now,
Yeah.
in between bones, the movement of bones is because of the presence of different types of joints. All right. Now, these joints are classified or are of various types, which will allow us to move our body in a certain way. So, for example, the joint that is present in our neck bone will be different from the joints that are present in our elbow. That is why the elbow can only move back and forth, or the knee can only move back and forth, whereas the neck can have a little more motion than that, right? Now,
Yeah.
normally, if you're talking about mammals, what are mammals? Examples of mammals apart from humans?
Mammals are basically like animals and humans that produce to their young ones and feed milk to their newborn. Mammals are animals that give birth directly to their young ones and also feed their newborn.
Yeah. Did you say something now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mammals are animals that give birth directly to their young ones and also feed milk to their newborn.
Correct. So, any example other than humans?
Like a bear or platypus.
Correct. So, our body, specifically if I'm talking about only mammals, our body is made up of two types of structures. One is an endoskeleton, okay, and the other one is an exoskeleton. All right. Now, endo means
Inside.
inside, right? And exo will mean
Outside.
outside. Good. So, endoskeleton, our endoskeleton is made up of bones and cartilage. Okay. Do you know what is the exoskeleton made up of for mammals?
Hair and skin.
Yeah, not skin. Skin is an organ.
Oh.
It's hair, body hair, and fur. Right? Okay. So when we're talking about the endoskeleton and exoskeleton, both are present for our body to have a particular structure. So exoskeleton is protecting us against any kind of harmful substances that might be present outside the body, let's say UV rays, cold, all of that. Endoskeleton is providing our body a structure so that our body can have a particular shape as well as protect our internal organs, right? So each and every bone has a particular function. In total, we have about 206 bones. Do you know how many bones are present in children or infants or newborn babies? Is it more than 206 or is it less than 206?
It would be more than 206.
Yeah. Is it, you know what is the exact number?
Like around 246.
Okay. So it can be around, yeah, it's around that much only. It usually is because the small little bones are still forming, and then eventually they will fuse together and then give rise to the bone or the long bones that we know of. That is why the child, when it is born, it can't sit up straight, right? Or it cannot hold its neck, or it doesn't have a sitting position. Eventually, when the bones join up together, the joints become more stronger, the bones become more stronger, then they'll fuse together and give you 206 bones, and that is how they'll function. Now, normally what happens is, like I said, our endoskeleton is made up of bone and cartilage. Do you know what is the main difference between bone and cartilage?
Bones, they kind of like connect to each other, and cartilage like one big bone.
Where do you think is cartilage present? Any example of cartilage do you know that is present in our body?
The skull.
Skull is made of a bone. Cartilage are places, cartilage are structures that are present in places which are either joining different types of bones. It is slightly more flexible as compared to bones. And the main difference between a bone and cartilage is bones are supplied with blood. Cartilage is not supplied by blood. So best example of cartilage is your ear, this portion of the ear. This is a cartilage. It is soft, right? Slightly flexible. Similarly, the tip of your nose, slightly movable, right? Now, if I pierce my ear or I pierce my nose, it doesn't bleed. Okay? That's why I can pierce these things easily. But if I pierce my bone or my bone breaks, then of course, bleeding will happen. It will be a lot more damage than the cartilage, right? So it's slightly more flexible. We'll talk about the details of bone and cartilage. Other than that, of course, we have muscles. Muscles are joined to the bones, okay? And when we move our muscles, along with our muscles, the bones will also move, okay? So like on my arm, on my legs, everywhere muscles are present. Even when I'm talking, there are muscles on my face, inside my skin, and that is completely joined to the bone. So when I move my muscles, along with my muscle, the bone moves, right? Now to make things easier, the skeletal system is divided into two parts. One is the axial skeletal system, okay? And the other is the skeletal system. Axial skeletal is this one, the main frame, this portion, main body frame. Appendicular means the appendages, that is whatever is coming out of the main body, all your limbs and all. So the axial skeletal system include the skull, the vertebral column, the chest bone, rib cage. Okay. Appendicular system includes shoulder, blades, girdles, your both legs, arms. Okay.
Okay.
Main function of the skeleton is to protect the internal systems of your body.
Yes.
Any doubts so far?
Yeah.
Now, this is the part of your skeletal system. So you will have to learn all these things. I'll tell you how to learn them when we come to regular classes. So first we have the uppermost, we have the cranium. Cranium is the bone that is present in the skull that is specifically protecting the brain. Okay. Apart from the cranium, the skull also includes facial bones. Now you don't need to know the names of the facial bones.
The jaw.
Okay. Are you saying something?
Yeah, there's also the bottom of the jaw.
I need to just remove.
Yeah, can you say something now?
Yeah, the bottom part of the skull is called the jaw, right?
Yeah. So this is your upper jaw, this is your lower jaw, right? In the entire skull, only your lower jaw is movable. Rest all the bones are immovable. That means they have joints present in them. It's not that it's a single bone. There are multiple bones there. However, they are joined by immovable joints, so we're not able to move them. Okay, so this part of the skull is a single bone. Here there is another bone. Here there's another bone. Cheekbones are different. Each part is different, but we're not able to move it. Only we're moving our lower jaw. Okay. Then coming to the vertebral column. Vertebral column runs from the back of your skull to the back of your till your hip bone. Okay, at the back. That's your vertebral column. So your neck bones, your spinal bones, everything is making the vertebral column. Inside the vertebral column, you will have your spinal cord. So it is mainly protecting your spinal cord, and it is made up of these small little bones. Each of the vertebra has a name. So these small little bones are like this. Okay. And between each of these bones, you have cartilage present. Cartilage is allowing certain flexibility so that you can move your back. You can move your back front and back, right? A little bit. You can't go back, but of course you can bend. So this cartilage allows that movement. Now, vertebral column will come in the front like this. Okay, like here. It's coming in front. And in the front, it is joining together at the chest bone. So your sternum is your chest bone. Okay.
Yes.
So the chest bone, the rib cage together are forming a small little structure which is protecting the most important organs in your body, which is the lungs and the heart. Okay, so here you will have your lungs, and right in the middle, you have your heart, which is slightly tilted towards the left side. Okay, so the chest bone is completely protecting the heart, and the rib cage is again forming like a cage structure so that your lung is protected if there's any kind of physical damage. So from the vertebral column, it's all coming ahead in the sternum. Okay. Now moving forward, we have the pelvis. Pelvis is a fusion of multiple bones, which is forming your entire hip bone. Pelvis is the portion which carries the entire weight of your body. That's why it's a combination of multiple bones. And this is one of the strongest bone that is present in your body. From here, you will have joining for the thigh, which is the thigh bone, that is femur. Femur is the longest bone in your body. Okay. And then we have the calf muscles, the calf bones. They are made up of two bones. One is the tibia, the other one is the fibula. And here we have the kneecap, which is known as the patella. Similarly, if you go upward here, these are your shoulder blades that is coming out from the rib cage or the back actually. So you can feel, if you slightly touch it here, you will feel that there's a triangular structure coming out at the back. So that's your shoulder blade. Shoulder blade will attach your arms. So the upper arm is made up of a single bone, which is known as the humerus, and the lower arm is known as made up of two bones again, radius and ulna. Okay. How will you remember? Radius is towards your thumb. This, if you feel a little bit here, you will feel there's a bone going right in the middle. You'll see there's a gap. So one is radius towards your thumb, and towards your pinky finger is your ulna. Okay. Similarly, in the foot also, it's like that. Now here also, if you feel there's a collarbone. This collarbone is the scapula. Okay. Now, coming to the hand, the wrist has about 8 bones, small little bones. If you look carefully, there are small little bones. There are about 8 of them. The palm has 5. You can actually feel it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Can you feel that?
Yeah, I broke 2 of my wrist bones once.
2 of your wrist bone, how?
Yeah, I jumped off a ladder and landed on my arm.
Ouch, that must be hurtful.
Yeah.
I mean, breaking bones is, I think, the worst. Like getting bone fracture is, I think, the worst pain that you can have. Okay, so out of the 8, It did not?
Did not pain that much.
All right. Now let's talk about fingers. How many do you think in one finger? How many bones do you have?
3 to 4.
3.
3.
1, 2, 3. Okay. So each finger has 3 bones. Like this is what I can do with my bone. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Got it? 3 bones. How about the thumb? Thumb has only 2.
2.
Okay. So 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. Similarly on your foot also.
Yeah.
You have the big toe has 2 bones and rest of the toes have 3 bones each, right? I will give you a mnemonic as to how to remember them, all the names and each of their functions as well. Okay. When we come to regular classes. All right, moving forward. Now I'm just going to skip to the, so bones we'll study in detail, of course. I've just given you an overview. I'm just going to skip to the types of joints that we have. Or one second, let me share another PPT. So normally what happens is when we are talking about these different types of joints, each and every joint has a different function as to how they will allow movement in your body. Okay. Okay, so for example, one of the joints is known as a ball and socket joint. Ball and socket joint is something, there's a opening like a socket and the bone, the head of the bone is fixed onto this joint. So joint is nothing but it is it's a point where 2 bones are meeting. Okay, so this is one bone, which is your shoulder. So shoulder is shaped like this and your arm goes and fixes here. And here, since it's a ball and socket joint, it can move in all directions. Can you move your arm in all directions? It's a 360 movement.
Yeah.
Okay. Similarly, this joint is also present in your hip. So you can move your thigh 360. Okay. Thigh, not the wrist. Wrist is different. Neck is different. Neck has small little bones, no? So the kind of joint that is present is different because the joint will be similar to what kind of bone shape or bone structure is present. Okay. This is your neck joint. This is how it looks like. It is something that there's a fixed structure. This portion is fixed. You can't move this. Okay. And on the top, there is like a moving structure like this. This is known as a pivot joint. That is why you can move your neck completely. Yeah, this way also, right? But the lower portion is fixed. It's not like a socket and ball. It's a plain structure. On that, you have your neck fixed like this. Okay. So this is how the structure. So when questions come on this will not come. This will come. They'll give you maybe diagrams of this and ask you to identify what kind of a question joint is it. Or they'll give you features of the joint and then they'll ask you to identify the joint. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next is gliding. Gliding is present in your wrist bone. So wrist bone normally, again, you can move it around, but you can't move it 360. Can I move it here? No. Doesn't move here. It mostly moves only back and forward. Even if I try to move it slightly this side, it won't be moving. My fingers will go that side, but my bone is not moving. That's why you must have broken your bone because maybe you would have fallen the wrong way. Okay. It goes back and forth. So basically the bones are gliding onto each other or sliding on top of each other. That is why it's known as a gliding joint. So this is how it moves like this. Next is hinge joint. Hinge joint is like the hinges that are present on your doors. So the door will only open or close, right?
Yeah.
So your elbow, your knee is a hinge joint. You can't put your knee completely backward. It will only go in one direction, right? Your elbow will only, can I move my elbow backwards? No. Only going like a door. Door also opens only in one side, right?
Yeah.
So similarly, that's a hinge joint. And okay, so we've spoken about like the joints are present. That is why you're moving your bones. Now, sometimes what happens is, like I said, you're moving your muscle actually, and along with the muscle, you are moving your bones, correct? Now,
Yeah.
there are two substances that are present between the bones. One is ligaments and the other one is tendons. Have you heard these terms before?
No.
No? Have you heard about a ligament tear? Like when you had a fracture, did they say that you had a fracture, or did they say you had a ligament tear?
Fracture.
Fracture. Okay. Ligaments are structure or tissues present between a bone and a joint, because the joint has to be stuck together to the bone with something, no? So that is the ligament. So your ankle, your wrist, every little joint that you have, even this one, every little joint that you have has ligaments in between. Okay. This ligament will join a joint and a bone. Tendons will join bone and bone. So tendons are completely immovable. Ligaments are allowing movement. Okay. So muscles are moving, or any kind of movement is happening mostly because of the ligaments. So normally when I twist my ankle, or if I have a sprain, it is most likely that my ligament has torn off or my ligament has been damaged. Because of that, there's a slight little swelling. If my bone is broken, then it's a fracture. Okay, then you'll have to get a cast. But if I have a sprain or a small little, a twist or something, then it is just ligament tear or ligament swelling, and then it will get over, or it will get okay on its own within a couple of days. All right. So these two terms also you need to know. So when we come to regular classes, of course, we'll be talking about everything in detail. I will also tell you how to learn, memorize these things, specifically with these diagrams. And of course, we'll be talking about kind of questions that will be coming. So after most of your, so see, tendons are present between bone to bone. Okay. So they're joining two bones together, and they will not be moving around, but ligaments will move a little bit, allow movement. So when we come to regular classes, I will be giving you certain practice questions, like after every topic or after every PPT, we have some questions so that you understand whatever we've done earlier, as well as after every chapter, we'll have a mock test. Mock test will be a Google form that you'll do at home. And then in the next class, whenever we meet, I will discuss the solution with you. Whenever you fill in the Google form, I'll get your response and your marks.
Okay.
Okay. So all I want from you is just to be interactive, that you already are actually, so that it's not like that I'm just talking and talking and you're just sitting there and listening and getting bored. Okay. Any questions for me?
No.
No? All right. Great then. All right. I think your parents can speak to the admin. All right. And we can start the classes whenever you're comfortable.
Okay.
Okay. All right then. See you in the regular classes. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.